Brazil is huge and it's one of the biggest markets for arbitration. If I could describe Use AI with only one sentence, I would say that is the most comprehensive tool to help me as a practitioner. My name is Karina Goldberg. I am a partner at FCDG Advogados. We are based in Brazil. We are a boutique firm, even though we have more than 100 lawyers, but we are only focused on disputes. And our firm is one of the Brazilian lead firms in litigation and arbitration, but we also believe that we provide a very strong service in international arbitration. We have a huge background. We were able to be on the biggest cases in Brazil. Whenever there is a dispute, international disputes, we are called. In every single important, relevant dispute in Brazil, we are called because of our team mostly. Both because of our founding partners, Marcelo Ferro, José Roberto Castro Neves. José Roberto was even one of the legislators on the amendment of the Brazilian Arbitration Act. Marcelo has built his career and is a huge reference for international arbitration, but our team is formed of senior partners that are really hands-on, engaged in these very sophisticated cases, complex cases, and so I think this makes a difference. We have clients in China, Europe, and they do have transactions with Brazil, so it's really amazing like what AI and Jusmund especially are bringing to us practitioners in international arbitration, because for example, if you want to know which is the standard, which are the requirements for a challenge and how institutions all over the world are applying this, you don't need to search specifically in one website to try to find decision for SIAC or for ICC, or in Brazil for CAMC-CBC, but you ask for your AI and Jusmund has all the database and can provide you information from different parts of the world. My first contact with Jusmund was very interesting because I was a member of the IBA subcommittee on case law, and Jusmund was collaborating with IBA to collect decisions, awards from all over the world. It was very interesting that then with this collaboration, people from all over the world could have access to the content of the awards, both procedurally and the content in substantive matters. It was very important for me, for the firm, and also for us to gain trust in Jusmund and later on in Jus AI, because it is a huge database and it's very specific for arbitration. I can mention one specific case where we were prepping for a big hearing. It was before CAMC-CBC, the Brazilian Chamber, and in that case, right before the hearing, there was a huge discussion on privilege, because there was a discussion on emails that would have to be produced because the tribunal wanted to see the emails. The emails involved the in-house counsel correspondence, and there was a big dispute on whether this type of documents would be privileged or not. So we had to argue in the next coming day that discussion before the arbitrators, before the hearing starts, and we searched it and we used the Jusmund AI, and it was very helpful because they had all the database that is very specific for international arbitration. It's interesting that I thought that only younger people or our younger associates would be interested in using AI, but ourselves, senior partners, are using it a lot, especially Jusmund, because it helps us to build arguments that we want to include in our written statements, or also to work with our associates on preparing the arguments, so it's useful. For us, the access that we can have to awards and decisions, even though commercial arbitration is not based on jurisprudence, it's really case by case, but the access that we have, and specifically in Brazil, the biggest arbitrations involve the state, the public administration, and those are all public, and Jusmund managed to have those decisions in its database. So it's very interesting once like we start to search on contracts involving Brazilian government, Brazilian state, a number of issues on jurisdiction, and even on the merits of the dispute, we can have access to those awards. And this is something that only the AI and Gismund could bring to us. The fact that Gismund had thought about Brazil as a market, and the fact that we do have access to the decisions in Portuguese, so to the original version of the decisions, it helps both to make the research, to look for the answer, and also to get the proper decision, what you want to read. I like that I can click, I can check the decision, I can have access to the full content. In our firm, we really want to make sure that that happens. So even if it's not myself that I'm using the AI, it's an associate, I ask them, look, give me the full decision, the original decision. And the fact that just AI provide that helps us a lot. Clients like it, the fact that, especially because you provide translation of the decisions, you also give them quicker answers when they need like a super fast memorandum. It helps. You don't need longer deadlines. But we wanted to have the tool. Our firm that is very specialized, very concerned about the quality of our technical work. We wanted to make sure that we would not stay behind, that we'll be able to provide the best service to our clients. We wanted to be together with the leading firms. When we saw that AI was growing, was being studied by all the firms abroad, we wanted to be on the spot as well. And in the end, it also helped us to start doing some services that we used only to do when we were co-counseling with the big firms in the US or in Europe. When we wanted to do document production, for example, in the past, we used to say to our client, look, we have to do that with an American firm that is more used to document production. And now we can do that with use AI. So it gave us a competitive advantage as well. If I could describe Use AI with only one sentence, I would say that is the most comprehensive tool to help me as a practitioner to have access to the source, both primary sources, secondary sources. I can have access to the decisions, to the awards, to procedural orders. I can have access to the authorities, so I can go to ICC library and other libraries that Usemundi has collaboration with, and I will be able to reach all those different types of sources to help with my practice.